Ever wondered how the price in the stock market really moves? आपने कभी कभी सुना ही होगा लोग बोल रहे हैं कि आज निफ्टी गिर गया, बहुत ज्यादा सेलिंग आया हुआ है. ये स्टेटमेंट एक्चुअली पार्शियली करेक्ट है. मार्केट में ज्यादा सेलिंग पॉसिबल है ही नहीं, बिकॉज फॉर एवरी ट्रांजैक्शन टू गो थ्रू देयर मस्ट बी अ बायर एंड अ सेलर. व्हाट दैट स्टेटमेंट टिपिकली मीन्स इज देयर हैज बीन मोर एक्टिव सेलिंग than active buying which has happened on that particular day. Behind every price move, there is a full-blown Saas Bahu drama which is going on between the buyers and the sellers. Some are chilled, placing limit orders. They are saying, okay, I will buy this, but only at rupees 100. And some others are in a panic mode. They are saying, I will buy this irrespective of whether I have to sell my kidney. And they are placing market orders. And this continuous tug of war is creating what is known as LTP, the last traded price, which is basically the price at which the last transaction, which is a combination of one buy and one sell order, has happened, and that determines the price of that particular stock or any instrument possible. But wait, there is a sneaky villain too, which is impact cost, the invisible cost that eats your profit while smiling politely like a relative at a wedding buffet. If you're thinking of trading without understanding all of this, it's like entering IPL without knowing cricket. So let's deep dive and understand ये market move होता कैसे है. Okay, चलिए समझते हैं market ये move होता कैसे है. Okay, whether it is a stock or a future or option, इसका price movement आता कैसे है market. Okay, now we must remember that a price moves only when there is a buyer and a seller who are willing to conduct that transaction at that particular price. We have to first remember, and always remember rather, if there is no buyer, there is no trade. If there is no seller, there is no trade. So ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि कोई आके ज्यादा सेल करके चला गया या फिर कोई आके ज्यादा बाई करके चला गया. इसका मतलब यही होता है कि अगर प्राइस नीचे की तरफ मूव करवाना है तो किसी को एक्टिवली सेल करना पड़ेगा अगेंस्ट पैसिव बाइंग, एंड अगर प्राइस ऊपर मूव कराना है तो किसी को एग्रेसिवली एक्टिवली बाय करना पड़ेगा अगेंस्ट पैसिव सेलिंग. वी विल कम टू दोस कॉन्सेप्ट्स वेरी सून. नाउ द प्राइस ऑफ एनी इंस्ट्रूमेंट, okay, at any point at a point in time in real time is known as LTP, the last traded price, the price at which the last transaction between a buyer and a seller has happened in the market, and that becomes the real-time value of that particular instrument, irrespective of whatever that is. So let's say you have an investment of let's say in Reliance. Okay, now you are not really actively trading every day, but still the value of your investment is moving up and down based on the last traded price that is operating in the market. Okay, let's move a bit ahead and try and understand what are the different types of participants which are available in the market. The first one is an active participant. An active participant is who executes the order in real time, और मार्केट में जो भी प्राइस चल रहा है उसी प्राइस पे उसको ये ट्रांजैक्शन क्लोज करना है, सेल हो बाई हो जो भी हो. इनको वेट नहीं करना है फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर प्राइस और एनीथिंग लाइक दैट. सो these active participants actually use orders which are known as market orders. And the second type of participant is known as passive participant, जिसको कोई भी प्राइस पे ऐसा नहीं है कि चलेगा. Okay, so they are basically waiting for the price to come to a certain point or a range. Okay, so most of the big mutual fund houses etc. are passive participants. They don't really chase the price. वो अपना ऑर्डर सिस्टम में लगा के बैठ जाता है. अगर प्राइस उस ऑर्डर पे आता है तो बाइंग चालू हो जाता है. एक रेंज में बाइंग होती है, उसके बाद बंद हो जाता है बाइंग. सेलिंग में भी सेम है. एक प्राइस एक रेंज पे पहुंचता है तो सेलिंग चालू होता है. As soon as price goes below that, the selling also stops. Okay, and this basically creates the concept of long-term support and resistance in the stock market. अभी जो पैसिव पार्टिसिपेंट है वो मार्केट मूव नहीं करा. Okay, they are basically waiting for the market to come to them. They are waiting for a price, so they are not really moving the market. Who is moving the needle? The active participants. उसको क्या है कि लेट्स से प्राइस 150 रुपीज पे चल रहा है एंड नेक्स्ट जो सेलर्स अवेलेबल है वो 155 रुपीज में है और 160 रुपीज में है ओके नाउ इनको वेट नहीं करना है ये इनको जितना क्वांटिटी चाहिए अगर पूरा खरीदना है सो ही विल हैव टू कंज्यूम ऑल द सेल ऑर्डर्स व्हिच इज अवेलेबल एट 150 एंड 160 रुपीज लेट्स से इन्होंने डाल दिया मार्केट ऑर्डर तो क्या होगा all the sale orders at 150 and 160 rupees will be bought by this active market order and then the price will now move from 150 to 160 rupees. This is how the market price will move. Cool. Just to reiterate, market order is an instant active order. अभी जो प्राइस चल रहा है जो बेस्ट प्राइस है उस प्राइस पे आप इसको ट्रांजैक्ट करो we will also come to the concept of ask and bid prices to explain this better later on and limit order is I will fix an order and somebody else will have to agree to me कि उस प्राइस पे ट्रांजैक्शन होगा और उतना क्वांटिटी का होगा तभी जाके ये ऑर्डर ट्रांजैक्ट होगा मार्केट में ओके नाउ लेट्स से आई हैव जस्ट पेस्टेड टू स्क्रीनशॉट्स फ्रॉम Zerodha. So let's say you want to buy one share of Tata Steel in NSE and the price currently is 152.60. Now, if you choose market order, then you will see that the price here you cannot tamper anymore. So as soon as you press the buy button, it will basically execute or transact with the seller who is willing to sell either at 152.60 or at a price which is close to that but higher than this. Okay. Maybe it can be 152.65, 152.70, anything it can be. So there is a difference between the last traded price and the price at which your order is getting executed in the market. Okay. We will come to this. What is this called? Okay. Later on in the next slide. Now, if you instead choose limit order, then you are free to put your own price in the order. Okay. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपको लग रहा है कि टाटा स्टील आपको 150 रुपीज में ही खरीदना है उसके ऊपर आपको नहीं खरीदना है तो आपने 150 रुपीज का एक ऑर्डर लगा के बैठ गए सिस्टम में ये ऑर्डर इमीडिएटली एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा इट विल वेट फॉर the price to come closer to 150 rupees and then there must be a seller who is still willing to sell at 150 rupees. Okay. जैसे ही ये सेलर आपको मिल जाएगा उस प्राइस पे आपका ऑर्डर एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा सो दीज आर नॉट इंस्टैंटेनियस ऑर्डर्स दिस बेसिकली आर वेटिंग फॉर द मार्केट कम टू अ पर्टिकुलर लेवल ऑर्डर रेंज ओके नाउ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली व्हाट आर bid prices and ask prices and order book as well so order book is nothing but basically the book which is showing all the bid and ask prices for one particular stock or option or future or whatever it is. Okay. Now let's understand this. Okay. This is a picture of an order book for an ITC stock option. Okay. Of August. We will not try to understand all the details about this. We will definitely get an introduction into the world of futures and options towards the end of this course. But today, let's just understand, even if you're checking this for any share or stock, it will look exactly the same. Okay. Let's say the last traded price of ITC option for the month of August is 4.7 rupees. Okay. Now you see there are many buyers who wants to buy this particular option and these are the different orders which they have placed in the system. These are all passive orders. Okay. They are waiting for the price to come to this particular level. So you see there is one lot placed in at 4.7, then one lot at 4.65 and so on and so forth. Okay. Now the concept of lot and all you will understand when you do options. We will come there later on. Now for the same instrument, there are also sellers. Now the sellers always want to sell at a higher price, right? And buyers want to buy at a lower price. You can also see that distribution here. So all the buyers have placed their orders below the existing or the last traded price of this instrument, and all the sellers have placed their orders over and above the last traded price of this instrument. Now, the market will not move like this. The market will wait because nobody is really buying or selling anything. They are waiting for the price to come to a certain point. अभी क्या होगा? अभी कोई एक्टिव बायर और सेलर चाहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं एक्टिव बायर हूं. ओके, मुझे अभी चाहिए ये, बिकॉज आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग द मार्केट टू गो अप. तो अगर तो मुझे बाय कर लेना है. ओके, अभी 4.7 में कोई सेलर तो है ही नहीं, तो मैं कैसे बाय करूं 4.7 में? मैं बाय नहीं कर सकता 4.7 में. तो मैं क्या करूंगा? अगर मैं जाके 4.95 में बाय कर लूं. जैसे ही मैं 4.95 में ये ट्रांजैक्ट कर लूंगा, तुरंत ये जो एलटीपी है, लास्ट ट्रेडेड प्राइस, will now move from 4.7 to 4.95 because the last transaction has happened at that price. And this is how I can move the market. Okay. The same is true for a seller as well. मुझे, for example, here, मुझे 2 लॉट चाहिए आईटीसी ऑप्शन का अगस्त मंथ का. अभी 2 लॉट तो 4.7 पे है नहीं अवेलेबल. एक लॉट 4.7 में अवेलेबल है, एक लॉट 4.65 में अवेलेबल है. So as soon as I try to buy 2 lots, what will happen? I will consume both these buy orders. So the price will move to 4.65 because that is the last traded price of this instrument. So मैं market का price मैं नीचे drive कर दूंगा. That is how I can move the market. Okay, cool. So just to summarize, you buy at ask price and you sell at bid price. So ये जो सारे ask price, um, sorry, ये जो सारे बीट प्राइसेस है, इस प्राइस में आप जाकर सेल कर सकते हो. और ये जो सारे आस्क प्राइस है, इधर जाके आप बाय कर सकते हो. ठीक है, cool. ये हमने थोड़ा ऑलरेडी कवर कर लिया है कि प्राइस विल मूव ओनली व्हेन एन एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेंट इज एंगेजिंग अ पैसिव पार्टिसिपेंट. पैसिव पार्टिसिपेंट्स डू नॉट मूव द मार्केट. अभी दो कॉन्सेप्ट हमको कवर करना है, विच इज हाई लिक्विडिटी एंड लो लिक्विडिटी. एक स्टॉक या फिर शेयर और एनी इंस्ट्रूमेंट, उसमें हाई लिक्विडिटी हम लोग तब बोलेंगे जब बीड और आस्क प्राइस के बीच में गैप बहुत कम हो. ओके, देयर आर लॉट ऑफ players who are willing to transact at each strike price, at each price level. Okay, plus there is volume available. There is enough volume which has been placed as passive orders or available as active orders at all these price points. Then that particular instrument is highly liquid. लोली लिक्विड कब हो जाता है? लो लिक्विडिटी जब बीड और आस्क प्राइस में डिफरेंस बहुत ज्यादा है. लेट्स से एक बायर 100 रुपीज में बैठा है, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट बायर 80 रुपीज में बैठा है, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट बायर 60 रुपीज में बैठा है. तो बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस है. आपको अगर दो सेल करना है, 2 यूनिट, आपको एक 100 पे सेल करना पड़ेगा, एक 80 पे सेल करना पड़ेगा. तो बहुत ज्यादा इलिक्विडिटी है. ओके, दिस इज एन एक्सट्रीम एग्जांपल ऑफ कोर्स, बट जस्ट टू क्लैरिफाई हाउ इट वर्क्स. Even in this example, if you see, this is actually a low liquid instrument at this point of time based on the orders which are placed. Why so? Because देखिए आप यहाँ पे एक बायर 4.7 पे है, एक सेलर नेक्स्ट 4.95 में है. So there is almost 0.25 difference between the two orders placed. And volume भी उतना है नहीं, ज्यादा बहुत ही कम orders लगा हुआ है. And अगर आपको let's say you want to buy, so almost 25 पैसा ऊपर बाय करना पड़ेगा आपको, करेक्ट? एंड 25 पैसा on 4.7 rupees is a big amount. Huh? It is almost 6-7%. Is what I can mentally calculate. Okay, so this is basically leading to the next important concept, which is what is impact cost. अभी impact cost क्या है? ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट का एक्चुअल प्राइस 4.7 है, बट अगर आप इसको बाय करने जाओ in real time, you will have to buy at 4.95. The difference that you additionally pay, which is basically eroding your profits or adding to your losses, is called impact cost. आप जितना illiquid इंस्ट्रूमेंट ट्रेड करोगे उतना आपका इम्पैक्ट कॉस्ट ज्यादा रहेगा. जितना आप लिक्विड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ट्रेड करोगे, the impact cost will be on a lower side. And specifically, if you are trading in huge quantities, of course, you will not do that when you are starting trading in the market. But let's say several years from now, you have now attained a particular scale, तब भी आपको impact cost ज्यादा आ जाएगा. For example, very clearly visible here, आपको अगर 5 लॉट let's say buy करना है इस ऑप्शन का, आपको अप टू 530 रुपीज देना पड़ेगा 5 लॉट बाय करने के लिए इधर, करेक्ट. सो जो इंस्ट्रूमेंट का प्राइस एक्चुअली 4.7 है, आपको बाय करते करते उसका एक लॉट आपको 5.3 में भी बाय करना पड़ेगा. So then your impact cost becomes quite a significant part of your trading charges, which of course you don't want to incur. So what specifically day traders and scalpers जो बहुत ज्यादा ट्रेड्स लेते हैं, उनके लिए impact cost बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, because if you are not taking charge of this, a good amount of your profit can get eroded away. Swing traders, they care about entry precision, so they are basically waiting for a particular price to come, so they can they might not care too much about impact cost, because the number of trades that they are taking are not on a higher side, and also they are basically waiting for the market to come to them, of course if they're using limit orders. अभी लार्ज ट्रेडर्स जो होते हैं, इंस्टीट्यूशंस जो होते हैं, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको, वो एक शॉट में ऑर्डर स्पेसिफिकली इफ दे आर डूइंग if they're placing active orders, they cannot really transact their whole desired quantity at one shot. So they basically break their orders into multiple small chunks and then they operate in the market. Okay. Cool. So before we end, just to reiterate, just to recapitulate, you will always use limit orders in low liquidity stocks, because अगर low liquidity stocks or instruments में you use market orders, then there is a chance that your order will get executed at a price which is far away from the last traded price, and that will result into a big impact cost for you. And let's say अगर highly liquid cost है, highly liquid stocks or instruments hai, you can easily use market orders, because then a lot of players are willing to transact very close to the price at which you want to do the transaction. So your transaction will go through without incurring much of an impact cost. Okay. Cool. I hope you got to learn some very useful basics before you are going to start trading. And this will come in very handy when you are really placing orders in the market. You will probably save some money, and if you become an option and futures trader later on, specifically stock options, the concept of impact cost and ask and bid orders will be very, very important to consider at that point of time. Okay, see you in the next episode.